Today I'm going to play the second scenario from the Białystok 1920 game, an expansion for the Warsaw 1920 game released in the 47th issue of the Tactics and Strategy magazine. In my previous video I played first scenario for this game, and like I said before, these two scenarios can be played together as the mini campaign, or each of them can be played as a standalone scenario. So, in the first video I played the first scenario, and today I'm going to play second scenario, but instead of playing them together, I decided to play them as a separate games. Well, I made a video about playing them together in Polish back then, and maybe somewhere in the future I will play them together in English. But I decided that it will be something new to play them as a standalone scenarios. So, here we have a setup where Polish units of the 1st Infantry Regiment of the 1st Infantry Division managed to drive Soviets off the Białystok, and they are holding the city, but, well, they are not very strong. And we have 3 Soviet divisions approaching from the west to make their way east to the Soviet Union, and like you can tell, the shortest way is through Białystok. So Soviets would like to capture the city, it would be the best for them. Well, they might try to seek for the other way, but it might be pretty complicated. So when it comes to the scenario, it takes 3 turns to play, and Soviets have initiative this time. We can ignore all the rules about the supply, and now about the victory conditions. First, Soviets gain 1 victory point for each unit that leaves the board in its own movement phase. So we get no victory points if such unit would be forced by Poles during retreat out of board. And if Soviets will be able to capture the entire Białystok, well, they get instant victory. And for each destroyed Polish unit, they get 2 victory points. While Poles, well, they get victory points for destroyed Soviet units, 2 points for each Soviet unit. So I think the scenario can be quite hard for both sides. The question is how fast the Soviets will be able to do their job. If they will be able to drive Poles away of the city before the reinforcements will arrive, they might think about the victory. If they will be held and they won't be able to capture the major part of the city and to make the safe way east, well, they might be in trouble. So let's carry on with this scenario, and Soviets have initiative, so they can start their movement. And now I will start with this 2nd Infantry Division. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 27 Infantry Division. 1, 2. This Cavalry Regiment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now this 21st Infantry Division. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have this Soviet regiment here, and the question is what it wants to do. It can simply leave the board and we will gain 1 victory point due to this fact, or I can try to use it somewhere, for example to cut the road of retreat for this unit and to try to eliminate it. The decisions. Well, I will take this risk. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all when it comes to the Soviet movement, and let's go to the Soviet combat phase. So we are starting here, and they have 7 versus 4, so this is 2 to 1, 3 to 1 because the entire division, 2 to 1, 1 to 1 because of the city. So we have 1 to 1. Oh, let's make a roll. And this is pretty good, it's 5. In the 1 to 1 and this is 5, so this is B1 and the dot. So Polish unit has to retreat 1 hex, and Soviets wait, and since there was a dot, then the Soviets have to make their disorganization check first, and they have 9, and Soviets get, yeah, they are fine. They need 10 to 12 to be disorganized, so they can go right here. And now this group. Here we have 7 plus 2, so it's 9. So this is 2 to 1, 3 to 1 because of the entire division, so it is 3 to 1. And now this is 2 to 1 and 1 to 1 because of the city. Sorry, this is town and this is city. So 1 to 1 again. Oh, hell, this is 11. Lenin won't be happy. And 11 in the 1 to 1, this is A1 minus 1. So each attacking unit has to retreat 1 hex, and one of them has to suffer 1 point loss. So it will be that unit. And, well, that's all when it comes to the Soviet attacks. They aren't going very well, because no matter how hard we strike, we couldn't make our way through the city. I guess these units might be able to find their way out, let's hope so, but for these two divisions it might be a complicated thing, because more Polish units are about to come. Let's go with the Polish units now, and the ones that are in Białystok, well, I think the best they can do is to fortify their positions, so they would be able to hold the line for a while. So they are going to fortify themselves. This regiment will go here, trying to stop Soviet advance north of the city. And now the remaining Polish units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So they are going to attack this Soviet infantry battalion, regiment, and the other Polish units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Hope they will be able to surround this Soviet division. And hit quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this artillery takes a fire position. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, while artillery will move here as well, and it will also be able to support Poles with its fire. Okay, so now we can perform all the Polish attacks. I will start here. I have 2 versus 1, and this is -1 for the wood, so this is 1 to 1, and 9, no good. This is -1 for the attacker. Okay, they are fortified, so they don't have to attack the enemy. Now these two battalions, 1, 8 and 12, so they have 12 versus 6, so this is 2 to 1, 3 to 1 because of the commander, 2 to 1 because of the entire division, and 1 to 1 because of the town. So this is 1 to 1, and that's good. 1 to 1 and 4, this is B1, and Soviets have no chance to retreat because all the adjacent hexes are in the Polish zones of control or occupied by the Polish units, so one of them has to suffer 1 point loss. And there was a dot next to the result, so each Polish unit must have have to take disorganization check. So let's go here. They are fine. Now here, oh, they are fine, and this battalion, they are fine. Okay, and now here I have 4, and I will give them artillery support with 6, so they have 10 versus 2. This is 5 to 1, 5 to 1, and well, I have 2 hexes range, so I believe I can use this commander. So this is 5 to 1 and 6 to 1 due to the commander. The terrain is clear, so we have no terrain modifier. And this is 7 in the 6 to 1. This is B3. So 1. And now they cannot retreat anywhere, because all these hexes are in the Polish zones of control. So they have to suffer 1 step loss. It is B2. And then another step loss, B3, so they are eliminated. And Polish cavalry goes here. So this concludes Polish attack. I think it went pretty good. And now let's go to the second day of the battle. Alright, so our poor Soviets, what are they going to do? Well, this division is effectively encircled by the enemy, and it cannot do much, so it will fortify itself in this town. Now this group, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this division will try to help, so they will try to fight Poles and make their way out of this area. Well, it might be not easy because there are Polish cavalry regiments here, but well, we will see. Now this division, I think they have no chance to actually make their way through the Białystok. You can tell that Polish units here are maybe not very strong, but they are definitely strong enough to stop Soviets. So I think the best thing they can do is to find their way out somewhere throughout the city. But I will leave 1 brigade here just to hold Poles, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 other brigades will go out, while this brigade will remain here and fortify itself to keep Poles in the city. Okay, so that's all for the Soviet movement, and let's go to the Soviet attack. Here, 2, 4, 6, and 9. 9 versus 2, so this is 3 to 9 versus 2, so it's 4 to 1. 5 to 1 because of the division. So this is 5 to 1 and 5. 5 in the 5 to 1, this is B3. So Polish unit has to retreat 3 hexes. 1, 2, and 3, or maybe 1, 2, 3. This will be better. And now Poles have to undergo 2 disorganization checks. First one, they passed, and the second one, they also passed. So that's good for them. And now Soviets. Well, Soviets are allowed to pursue, and now they can leave the board anywhere from this hex to that hex. So effectively throughout these hexes. So 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, sorry, not 2. Why? Well, when you are making a pursuit, you can make it for the same number of hexes that enemy had to retreat. But if you are leaving enemy's retreat road, you have to stop on the first hex, which is not a part of the enemy retreat road. So that's why they have to stop here, but still they have an open way to this Wasilków town, so I think they have a chance to leave the board. That would be good for them. Okay, so now Poles. What Poles can do? Well, they would like to stop Soviets from leaving the board, but their options are limited. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this cavalry, supported by this battalion, will try to stop Soviets from leaving the map. Now this artillery will stay here, and this battalion will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Artillery will go here along with commander. They will fortify themselves, and when it comes to them, I think they will, well, if they want to attack, this might be not a piece of cake, because Soviets have still all 3 brigades of the division, so they will get +1 column shift. They are fortified and they are in the town, so they will get a couple of modifiers. So instead of attacking them, I think that the better thing might be simply to hold them here and not waste my units. Okay, so that's all, and now I can launch my attacks. Here I have 2, 4 and 6 versus 2, so it's 3 to 1. Well, this is not going to be easy thing for Soviets. They would love to hold their position, but well, this is clear terrain, so we have no modifiers, and to not be able to leave this hex, Soviets might have to roll 11 or 12, or if they will get 9 or 10, they will be able to hold this hex, but at the price of the 1 strength point loss. So this might be hard for them. We will see. And this is 7 in the 3 to 1. It is B2. So Soviets have to retreat 2 hexes, 1, 2, or they can sacrifice themselves. They might be destroyed, but even so, they will be eliminated. So Polish will be able to take this hex. No good. Well, they will retreat here, so they have to undergo 2 morale check. Sorry, 1 morale check. They passed, and Polish group enters this hex. That's good. Now these 2 battalions, 7, with the support of their artillery, so they have 13, are attacking this division. They have 7, so it's 13 versus 7, so it's 2 to 1, 3 to 1 because of the commander, and 2 to 1 because of the entire division. So it's 2 to 1 and 8, and this is B1, so defender has to retreat 1 hex, so Soviets would rather sacrifice 1 of their units to hold this position. Okay, and this concludes turn 2. I think Poles are on the good way to win this battle. We have 1 more turn to play, but I am not sure if Soviets will be able to leave the board. Well, I doubt. So, okay, so let's go and start turn 3. And now Soviets are moving first, yes. So what are they going to do? They will try to attack here, certainly, but I wonder if I should rather leave this unit here. Well, what is my plan? My plan is to drive these Poles off this place and open the way out for at last this cavalry. I can use a strategic movement that allows me to move after all my attacks are resolved. So this is a chance for Soviets to leave the board even with this single unit. So I will give them this strategic movement option, and my other units will do their best to open that way. Well, this will be hard, but I have no other chance. So this Soviet division attacks here, and they have 6 versus 6, so this is 1 to 1, and we have a Soviet division, so this is 2 to 1. Okay, that's 2 to 1, that's not bad. sorry, man, where is, okay, here it is. Wow, impressive. And now it is -1 B3D. So Soviets suffer 1 point loss, and Poles have to retreat 3 hexes. So 1, 2, and 3, and they are instantly disorganized. Well, that's quite lucky for Soviets. I never expected this attack will be that devastating. Okay, so now Soviets. They can move 1 and 2. Sadly, they cannot move anymore. And now this group, they have 4 versus 7, so it will be 1 to 2, 1 to 3 because of the Polish commander, so it is 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 7 in the 1 to 3, it is A1, so they have to retreat 1 hex, no good, and Poles doesn't want to pursue them. Okay, so this concludes Soviet attacks, and now the question is that if I can leave the board with this unit. I believe I can. This is 3, 5, 6. So they were able to leave the board. That's good. At last one unit was able to do so. And now Poles. This is their part. And well, they failed to block Soviets away completely. And I think the best thing they can do if they want to win, when it comes to the number of points, is to destroy at last one other Soviet unit. So I will move this headquarter and artillery here, so I will be able to support attack on this Soviet group, and these guys will go here. I think I might move my commander here, so he will be able to support these 2 attacks. Okay, this should be fine. And now, let's start here. I have 12 plus 6, so it is 18. 18 versus 5, so this is 3 to 1. 4 to 1 because of the commander. 3 to 1 because of the division. 2 to 1 because of the division in the town. And 1 to 1 because it is fortified. And 1 to 2 because it is fortified in the town. So this is 1 to 2. And impressive. 3 in the 2 to 1 to 2 is dot and B1. So Soviets have to suffer 1 point loss. Oh, they still can without sacrificing any of their units. That's great for them. And Poles have to undergo morale checks. First here, passed. Then here, passed. And here, passed. Okay. And now I have one more attack to resolve. This is 11 versus 3, so this is 4 to 1, 5 to 1 because of the commander, 4 to 1 because of the fortification, 3 to 1 because of the fortification in the town and in the city, 2 to 1, 1 to 1 because of the city. So this is 1 to 1, and the roll is 7. In the 1 to 1, this is -1, -1, so each side suffers 1 step loss. So no one suffers any losses when it comes to the number of units. And this concludes Polish attacks. So this concludes final part of the scenario. So now we can check the number of victory points for each side. And now Poles gained 2 victory points for 1 Soviet unit being destroyed, and Soviets get 1 victory point for 1 of their units leaving the board. So this is a very small number of victory points for each side. We have 2 versus 1, so Poles won this scenario by 1 point. Well, nothing impressive actually, but somehow they made it. Well, I think that Soviets were not very far from winning if they would be able to evacuate this division, and if Poles might have a bit more luck in this attack, then they would be able to eliminate 1 more step for Soviets and then eliminate 1 more Soviet unit, and then they will have 4 victory points. Of course, this scenario might turn completely different if the Soviets would be more successful in fighting in Białystok in the turn 1. Well, there are multiple options. But as for today, that's all. Thank you for watching and see you next time.